All right. So, like I said, we're talking about. All right. I think we're good to go. So, like I said, we're talking about the obvious range that you can see right here in front of you. So, we'll draw our zone that we're watching right now. We drew the range. Go ahead and draw that zone. Depending on which way they decide to send the market today, if we break outside of this range, we can come down to 29,220. We could always push down to 29,195 or lower. Nobody knows which way they're going to push the market. Over here we have Friday's level at that SV level that we talked about getting broke, the 29,100, and it sure did. Let's see if we have anything above us. Excuse me. We have a little bit of a zone up here. 29,590. 25,634 if they decide to push it higher. This is what we're looking at right now. So we got about 9 minutes until the market opens. The VWAP right here is right in the middle of our range pretty much. We also have previous day high sitting here at 29,332. See which way they're going to take it. We got a lot of levels. We got a lot of quite the range. Almost a 200 point spread on the range. So be careful today. I'm sure all this is stemming from the stalemate that's going on right now in the ceasefire. It's going to be an interesting Monday. Like I said, we have new home sales coming out at 10 o'clock. At this time, we look in here, the system has generated a buy notification, SV buy notification. but we are within inside this range below the VWAP, right back in the 4-hour candle open. Only time will tell which way they decide to take the market, and that's what we're waiting for. We're waiting to see which way they're going to take the market. Just doing a little analysis here. Got about 6 minutes until the market opens. Excuse me. So pretty much we just have to be patient. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Went fast. Things are finally starting to warm up now. At least where I'm at. I know in Denver they were expecting snow over the weekend. Alright, we'll see how this last 5-minute candle plays out. Make that a little bigger. So I do have to advise you that I am not a financial advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Trade at your own, take at your own risk. You enter in extra trades on your own. It's your total responsibility. All I'm doing is sharing with you what we're doing here in the StrategyVault trade room live. So do not take my advice on anything. See the market already pushing down again. Look at them wicks. This just kind of tells you what kind of day we may be looking at. So, let's look. If the market pushes up above 29,330, I'd be looking at more movement to the upside. If the market pushes below 29,260, I'd be looking for more movement to the downside. I know that's quite a range, but that's kind of what we're in. That's what I'm reading here. Got about a minute and a half till the market opens. And of course, it is a Monday. I hope all the mothers out there had a wonderful Mother's Day. And here we go. The markets are getting ready to open. Markets are open. Look at that push right up to the up, oh, and push and right back down. Gotta be careful. It's kind of what we expected for today. There's our 330 level like we discussed. Wow. Now is it going to close? I had to be careful. Look at that push to the upside. 360 level, just like I discussed. If we push through that 330 level, probably be looking at more movement to the upside. You need to pay attention over here, this high over here. That is quite a move. That's over 100-point move so far. That is going. If that candle forms out, that's going to be a big, big candle. But we're paying attention right now. Push to the pre-market high. Got about 2 minutes. Oh wow, look at that push. Remember what we discussed. We have a zone setting up here that we could, I guess we'll go ahead and draw out this zone for, if not for today, for tomorrow, if the market continues going higher. See, we're breaking outside of the range here. Right to that SV level from Friday. Right there. 420, 430 level. Pushing through it. Wow. And pulling back down. Let's see how this candle forms. That's a big bullish candle. Took out the high of the Asia session. Took out the high of the London session. And now look, there's a pullback. Is it going to push higher, or is it going to come right back down inside of our range? Well, it's already inside of the range, but where is it going to go? There's like a 40-point pullback right there. Oh, even more. Wow, 20 more. Looks like she's trying to pull it back down. Previous 4-hour candle high. $100-point pullback, just like that. Why we're being patient today. We'll see how this candle forms out. About 20 seconds on this 5-minute candle. She's trying to push back up. And right back down. We'll see how this candle forms out. Setting around that previous 4-hour candle high. There's just nothing convincing here at this time. So if we can break that 80 level, I would be looking at more movement to the upside. If we break down below the 55 level, I'd be looking for, there's your 80 level, more movement to the downside if we break down to below the 55. There's we're gonna try to ride this up. This is our first, and we're not gonna be in it long. Okay, that's 185 bucks. We're right at the top of that range, so we don't know exactly what it's gonna do. If we can break out of that range again, there we go. There's our push to the upside again. We're gonna try to ride it up again. See if we can get a push to that. Okay, we'll take that. That's 175. So the thing is we are right at the top of that range. And we'll wait. We need to wait and see. Like I said, this is scalping today for darn sure. And now look at that. That's why. In and out. In and out. And push right back up. See, that range that we drew, and also your opening range has been formed. We broke outside of our zone that we talked about, and we got our movement to the upside, just like we do every day. Break outside that zone, and then that gives us a lot of information on the direction the market wants to take. Now we'll be patient. Playing around at that 400 level. We got about so another thing is we got about 13 minutes till the top of the hour. We have news coming out at the top of the hour. Also, remember what they love to do in the last 10 minutes coming to the top of the hour. They love to jerk it back one way or the other. Whether they push it higher to the top or they drop it right back down. So, not only, like I said, we're trading against the clock. We're trading against price action. There's so many things that you have to watch for. Right at the range. See, we drew that range. I don't know if it's going to break outside of there or not. It sure is slowing down at that. It's just stumbling around at that 400 level. Now you need to watch that. Right back inside our range. We'll just have to see how this candle forms out. Also, like I said, last 10 minutes of the hour, and look at it. They're pulling it right back down. Now we're below the pre-market high. This is what I'm talking about. Wow. Look at that. We're at 30 points. So see now, the system's trying to generate a sell notification. This is what I'm talking about, the last 10 minutes of the hour, and they love to just pull it right back down. This is where you've definitely got to be careful. Right back at that 80 level that we discussed. And pushing it right back down. Look at that. So there, guaranteed there it is. That's exactly what I was gonna say. There's gonna be a sell notification generated. Remember, we discussed, what levels did we discuss? 55, looking for and more movement to the downside. There's your 50 level. So now if it closes below 50, I'd look for more movement to the downside. But this also could very well be a bear trap. And don't forget that the news is coming out here in 9 minutes. They may use that as a catalyst just to push it higher. There's your 50 level. We discussed that. So, as I've said numerous times before, wicks tell a story. So if we keep pushing to the downside, this wick down here is 29,345. They would be looking to attempt to break that level if we keep pushing to the downside. So now, knowing that, we know that we could ride it down to at least that level. But you've also got to realize that that is the first red candle of the day. We'll see how it closes out. There's that 55 level we discussed again. There's your sell notification trying to generate. There's that 45. I just discussed that 45 level and the push. What we know it would push down to if it continues. So the next level I would think would be the top of our zone that we drew this morning. Or also what you have setting here is the previous day close at 29,330. So if they really want to flush it to the downside, they break those levels, and it's going. There's your 30. I just talked about that level, 30. So now, shorts are looking good, but I would definitely wait until that news report comes out. And that comes out in about 6 minutes. It looks like they want to push it right back to the bottom of our range. But only time will tell. There's that 30 level. I discussed that 30 level, and we're hanging out right at that 30 level. And they just broke it. So now I talked about the top of our zone, next level, and they're trying to break the top of our zone. Like I said, everything looks good for shorts right now, but I definitely wait on that news report. The market has pulled back over 100 points in the last 15 minutes. Keep that in the back of your mind. So there's definitely a lot of volatility. Got about 4 minutes in that news report be coming out. This is what I'm talking about. Look at that bounce right off the top of our zone. Right off the top of our zone. So I do have to advise you that what we shoot for on a daily basis is a profit margin of $200 to $500, and after that we walk away. With that being said, $200 with 252 trading days a year amounts up to $50,000 if you could consistently make that. It actually only takes $400 a day to achieve $100,000 a year out of the markets. That news report's coming out here in about two and a half minutes. And as you can see, the market's already reacting. So the question is, could we have jumped in on shorts? We sure could have, but like I said, that news report's coming out, and that's why we didn't. Because it broke the previous day close. At least for a 10 to 20 point ride, we could have jumped in. But with that news report coming out, that's why we didn't. The system did generate a sell notification. But you also need to keep in the back of your mind, the market's already pushed down 100 points. That 20 level. That news is coming. Oh, there's our 4-hour candle open. Also, a new 4-hour candle will be opening up here in 40 seconds. still haven't closed inside that zone. Which way are they going to go? All right, the news report is out. Pull right back up to the 30 level. New 4-hour candle. There's your 40 level already. Look at that. This is exactly why. This is exactly what I was talking about. Why we didn't go short. So now if we could get inside this zone and close below the top of the zone, which it doesn't look like it wants to. It keeps bouncing off the top of our zone. There's our push to the upside. Is it gonna push back up to the upside? Or is this just a lower, a higher low right here? And they're gonna go for a higher high? If we can break that 60 level, we'll wait and see how this candle they want to push it back up to the upside. We'll wait and see how this candle closes. We got about 2.5 minutes. We're going to see how this candle forms. I'd like to see that just be a higher low, and then they push it up for a higher high. So if we break above that 60 level, 29,360, I'd be looking for more movement to the upside. We'll see how the candle forms. There, it's pushing. There's our 60 level. Bouncing right around that 60 level. And right back down. See, this is why we have to wait. That's 70 level. Let's see if we can ride it up. Can we ride it up 10 points? I don't know. There we go. All right, we're gonna take that. That's 135, and it's still going up. We just, like I said, we had to wait. We bounced right off our zone. Now we have a buy notification that the system is trying to generate. Remember, we wait until that candle closes, and that buy notification is supposed to stick. The reason we rode it up is off of the bounce off of our zone. And there's the 80 level, just like we talked about. But remember, we're still inside of that range. And actually, I'm going to take a look, see where we're at for today. There's 455 for the day. We might see if we can see something else. But I tell you what, it is definitely a Monday. And with everything else going on in the war, we're bouncing off the previous day high and the pre-market high right there to the pre-market high and pulling back. Is it going to break the pre-market high? Only time will tell. Pulling back. Look at that pullback. Oh, the trickery. Boy, look at that. Right back up to the top of our range. Is it going to break out outside of that range? I don't know. Are we going to make a higher high? Only time will tell. But one thing that I do have to point out, and are we going to start? Is this the beginning of an uptrend? I don't know. But let me draw that. But as you can see, we made a higher low. And are we going to make the higher high? I don't know. And look at that. Right back off top of that range. Right around that 400 again. Right back down the pre-market high. There's our 400. Can we break that 400? There it is. See if we can ride that up just a little. Push, baby. All right, we will take that. And the reason is because that puts us at our now look at it. That puts us at our $500 level for today. If I'm correct. We'll take a look here. Oh, excuse me, $495. Wow. All right, we'll see if we ride it up just one more time. And it come on, push, baby. Come on, get up there. At least the 410 level. All right, so here's the deal. A lot of people just get wrecked trying to make that last $5, and that's exactly what could happen to us. And I'm not gonna let that happen. And it may continue to go. It may continue to go up and make a higher high, but that's okay because take a look here. 515 for the day. So with that being said, there's just too much. see, it may get ready to pull back. It did break that 410 level that we discussed, but that's, like I said, so if it continues higher, I'd look at it to break the 420 and then go ahead and break the 440 level if it continues to push higher. But let's look. Okay, so we have this zone up here that it can push up into. But look, right here, this SV level set here at 430-ish. I'd be real careful around that level if you are continuing to go long. But now look at the pullback right here going on. Right? It just wants to stay inside that range that we drew. And actually, it's probably getting ready to push back down. It sure looks like it. Yeah. I would be getting prepared for a retracement. Maybe a retracement down to the trend line that we drew there. But this is a typical Monday also, with hardly any red folder news. Who knows what's going to go on in the war? So with that being said, we will not be taking any more trades today. I may stick around and watch and see if we do get this pullback or retracement. So I do have to point out, the market's opened approximately an hour ago, and we're already done for the day using the StrategyVault Pro system. And there's our beginning of the retracement that I was talking about. Right back inside that range. So if we break that pre-market high at approximately 29,390, I'd look for a retracement all the way down to the 350 level or more, at least the 350 level. Right back inside that range. Well, who drew that range? Whoever did a damn good job. Once again, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. About 53 seconds on this 5-minute candle. Who knows what it's gonna do? But it's not very convincing, I'll put it that way. Remember, I talked about that we break that 390 level around the pre-market high, we'd be pushing down to the 350 level. There's their 390 level. There's your pre-market high. She's pushing. There's a new 5-minute candle. New red 5-minute candle trying to form. Right back at the pre-market high. So here's two things that can happen. It could break that pre-market high and break previous day high, and then flush on down to the 350 level. Or it could test off that pre-market high, pre-day high. Oh, wow, what a push. There it is. There's what we're talking about. Look at that push down. Now, if we break that 350 level, I'd be looking for more of a retracement. Wow, there's your 360. This is what I was talking about. $358. Remember, I said if we broke the 390 level, I'd look at a push down to the 350 level at least. $355, $354. There it is, 350 level, just like I discussed. Oh, wow, 340. All right, right at that trend. Is it gonna break that trend? Previous day high. Excuse me. Previous day close. It's right at the previous day close now. Are we gonna break below that trend? She's flushing. This is what I was talking about. Got about 2 minutes until that candle closes. Is it gonna close below that trend, or are they gonna yank it right back up? Right back to the top of our zone. Does everybody see that? Wow. So in the last 5 minutes, the market has retraced 100 points or more. This is where people get wrecked. But if you had the StrategyVault Pro system and you traded with us daily, live, we drew it, we called it. And look at that push down. So what can happen now? Let's see. she may flush all the way down to the bottom of our range. Or you have the opening range right here at 29,280. So if it breaks that 280 level, I'd say next level she'd push to is the below of our zone. And then I would say that she would push all the way down to the pre-market low. And if it breaks the pre-market low, the bottom of our range. But hey, with that being said, we just wanted to see what was going to happen. We were done 15 minutes ago with the day. We just wanted to stick around and see if it was going to flush like what we thought right off our level, and it sure did. So with that being said, hey, this is James with StrategyVault. We're done. Everybody have a good Monday.